us to stay together, 'cause I can't take anymore. No more lonely nights, no more alibis, no more tears to cry. Goodbye, there'll be no more lies. I'm breaking the ties, it's time to fly. Goodbye to the lonely, lonely.
is only an illusion, and ocean souls, nothing but a name. The child bless thee.
Paint with colors that I like to wear. Your lines and angles move me like a prayer. Kiss me every day, everywhere. Picture me inside, I'll be there. Gotta wait to pave our own forever. Seize the day till things get better. Live to see our eyes fill up with pleasure. The world is sleeping as we lay together. You appear to me like a rainbow. The rain stops, the sun glows, and I'm around homeward bound for you, baby. Lovely, lovely is the way you love me. You make me wanna be close to you, give you all of me. Lovely, lovely is the way you love me. You're more than beautiful.
Lose my way, you get me back on track. I go too far, you pull me back. I lose my temper, get caught in anger. You cool me down, I surrender. You move rocks out of the way. You take me as I am every day. We light up the dark of the night. Come see two stars collide.
Your blue soul, your true heart, you make my shell fall apart. Scars and scratches, show your mind. No more need to run and hide. This ship of love is still at the dock. Before we are, let's lock it up. Throw away the keys into the sea and stay with me. Lovely, lovely is the way you love me. You make me wanna be close to you, give you all of me. Lovely, lovely is the way you love me. You're more than beautiful.
can kiss my ass goodbye.
Feel good, are you satisfied? Do you feel like suicide?
Is your conscience alright? Does it plague you at night? Do you feel good?
Feel good.
Like a big business tycoon, you're just a hot air balloon, so no one gives you a damn. You're just an overgrown schoolboy. Let me tell you right. Dog with disease, you're the king of the sleaze. Put your money where your mouth is, Mr. No. What's the fin on your back? Part of the deal. Shark, death on two legs, tearing me apart. Death on two legs, you never had a heart.
Never did. Right from the start. Insane, should be put inside. You're a sewer rat, kid in a cesspool of pride.
Should be made unemployed, make yourself null and void. Make me feel good.
I feel good.
Hoe ver je gaat, heeft met afstand niets te maken, hoogstens met de tijd. En ik weet niet hoe het komt dat ik weg wil, maar het treft me hard en zuiver en het houdt hardnekkig stand. Dus hier sta ik met een uitgestoken hand. Lief, ga dan mee en omarm me, omarm me, omarm me. Lief, ga dan mee en omarm me, omarm me, omarm me en breng me nergens heen. Hoe diep je gaat, heeft met denken niets te maken, hoogstens met een wil. En het voelt alsof ik weet waar ik heen ga. En het leidt me in het donker en het spot met mijn verstand. Hier sta ik met een uitgestoken hand. staat, heeft met zwaarte niets te maken, hoogstens met de wind.